All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is what we get to do here on Saturday. Talk about things that are happening in the tech world. They give me a nice platform. Talk about things that are in science, things that are in business, things that are in technology. And then we open up the floor to all of you listeners. If you have anything to chime in on, have any questions, feel free to jump in the lines all program long. You can call 330-729-9977, or you can text me here at 333-157, and I'll read those comments that come in through the text messaging all program long. You can hear my voice. I took my kid to Kennywood Park the other day, and he conquered a couple fears on some of the really, really big roller coasters. And so sitting next to him, I had to scream my butt off, and so I damaged the old throat doing that. So here's I didn't mention this last week. I came off of a vacation with my family, and while we were kind of hanging out with brand new people we didn't know, I got in front of sort of the teenage crowd, and I got an opportunity to ask sort of their behaviors and how they interacted with media and social media. And some of the most valuable things I get when I'm out and about are people that I don't know that will overshare their habits and how they interact with the world. And the reason this is relevant on today's program is, I mean, we're in this area. We've gone through, several different revitalizations, everything from the industry, where we went from steel mills, and then we dabble with retail and consumer end, and then we dabble in technology. And so we have this great marketplace where we have a group of aged, the people that are 50 years and older. And then we have the younger group, and both of them could not be more different in their behaviors. And so, we had a major newspaper here decide that they cannot operate. Their model cannot make money in this area. And so we're losing a newspaper. And I'll tell you, just from my standpoint, I have not bought the Vindicator in forever. I do not have a paper anything in my house. I support the Business Journal and what they do, and I'll buy their product in support. But I'm not a guy that comes home from work, cracks open a beer, turns on the news, and reads the newspaper. That is the bygone era and how behaviors were. That is not what families do now. Like I said, it's a token gesture to support the Business Journal as I do. I don't actually, thumb through it. Now, if I know somebody's got an article in it of somebody that I like or know, I'll save the paper version. But everything I do reading wise is on tablet, is on computer, is on phone. And so when I'm interacting with these teens and that group, I'm learning an immense amount of what life is going to be like in the marketplace when they grow up and they take, positions of power and they start wielding whatever their brains in the marketplace. It's going to be a different deal. So whereas, we're on radio right now, right? AM radio right now. If I talk to these teenagers and say, hey, what's your favorite AM radio station? What do you think they're going to say? Well, number one, they're not going to say that they don't even probably know what AM is. Number two, they consume their entertainment not as it's playing over the airwaves. It's on demand. So they have MP3s, they have YouTube, they have a completely different method of consuming material. And so when you're marketing to that group, it's a totally different ball game that you're playing. Now, I bring this up on radio because, I have a friend who got into the newspaper business, and he started out here in Youngstown, and he found his way down to Florida. And the group, he followed a demographic where when older people in Ohio get older, they go down to Florida because it's easier on their bodies. And so they buy newspapers, and they will for a little while now. So that group is going to migrate with the people who consume the material and not the other way around. Now, this company, iHeart, you kind of see what they're doing here. They are a platform that utilizes the airwaves, but they're not exclusive to the airwaves. And you'll start to see this group because they're a brilliant company. I mean, I've watched these guys, traverse a very difficult market and still, really do it well enough to stay relevant and stay in business. Where they leveraged their their AM. They leverage their FM. They're developing podcasts. Now, podcasts, you can see where they're starting. I mean, even the commercials that are running here, they're starting to kind of show their hand a little bit where, you know, if their marketplace and their platform is a rival in the industry, right? It might not be the rival in the industry right now in this market and radio networks and whatnot, but you can see how they're sort of set up in the future so that they will continue to be relevant as the marketplace ages. So I wanted to kind of throw that out there because, you know, we're business advocates more than anything else. We want to see people succeed, and we don't want to see, you know, a company like the Vindicator. Like if you were to go and make the Vindicator be different from the very onset, from the very get-go, what would you have them do? Well, they need to still service their paper readership, but they also have to, at some point, develop a paywall and start to figure out how to make money on the digital side. And it's a hard sell. I mean, what people are willing to pay for versus what you have to subsidize with advertising is a big undertaking. And it really somebody has to have a good understanding of, you know, when you jump in that water and set up a paywall versus just give away your content for free. Now, it's easy to get listeners and readers and whatever when you give it away for free, but make it 99 cents or make it $10 and see how easy it is to distribute your content when there's a price attached to it. And so it takes a lot of understanding and being very delicate and being very deliberate. So we could probably go back and make the Vindicator work if that was the intention, you know, if we knew that this was going to be the outcome. But it's, you know, I've watched companies do that whole paywall thing, and I'm telling you, it's like contortionist gymnastics to be able to pull it off right, because you don't want to starve yourself out, and you also don't want to make it so that you keep your content from the people who would otherwise be readers of it. So, you know, you can't, like I said, it's a delicate thing, even especially in this marketplace. But I'll tell you this, the behaviors of this generation, the 13-year-olds, the 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, I watched these people talk about the activities that they were participating in, and it was wound around the social sort of like the badges that were assigned to people. So if they could go somewhere and get a picture taken with a thing that increases their value on social media, they were basically planning their agenda based on what they could do to market themselves in that space. And that's interesting because it's not how we behave. It's not how we plan what we're going to do. We go out and maybe see for we set ourselves up for what the experience is going to be like. This is about how the presentation. So these are going to be the biggest group of natural marketers that will ever existed. They will have a natural marketing brain because you got to think about it. Their relevancy in the social landscape is dependent on how they're how they've exposed themselves on social media. So it's very interesting, especially if and we've got a lot of people in this listen to this show who are business owners, and that's a big nugget to keep in your brain, knowing that there's a whole generation 10 years from now, 15 years from now that are going to start to spend money. And you will be invisible to them if you don't take this into consideration when you're going after them as marketers. So, there are people right now that are confused that they're doing Yellow Pages ads and they're seeing their sales revenue go down because Yellow Page ads aren't working as they once did. And so, but every generation after Yellow Pages ad, there's going to be people who advertise exclusively on radio, people who exclusively advertise on social media, people who exclusively advertise on Instagram, and everything in between that. Every generation is going to mature, and another one is going to decay, and you got to keep that relevant. I don't care if you do retail or you do service industry or whatever, you got to know what the marketplace is. So I want to share that because a lot of you out there, that would be, sort of an interesting and valuable piece of advice is that if you take your eye off those 13-year-olds and those teenagers and know what it is that they do, you're going to miss them when it comes to the marketing stage of your business. 330-729-9977. Let's go to George. George, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Okay, I got a simple, I think it's a simple computer question. I have a Dell laptop. I have an Inotech external hard drive. When I plug it in and boot it up, it comes up the D drive, and the files come up. But anytime I click on a file, it says that I don't have authority to open that file.
Okay.
You currently do not have permission to access the file.
What operating system is it?
I'm just the computer's 1 year old.
Is it like a Windows 10 machine?
Yes.
Okay, there's going to be a lot to this, and you could really screw things up this wrong. So here's what I instruct you to do. I want you to go on YouTube, and I want you to look up file permissions. And so the general thing is there's probably some files out there that are locked down that somebody else has permission to open and you don't. But there's a way in Windows to be able to reclaim those permissions or reset those permissions. I don't want to just give you step by step, because if you miss a step, you might lock the files down and then nobody gets to recover them. So I want you to try to grab some data on resetting file permissions. And it has to do with, like, you go to a folder and you right click it and you go into the security tab and stuff like that. But it's easier going to be taught through a video of some kind.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, George. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being out there. And so basically how Windows file system works. So think of your data as this big index of, where things are at and who can get to those things, right? And typically in a Windows environment, you pretty much have everybody can get to everything. But let's just say at one point in time, those files got locked down so that administrator could see it. A user could maybe view it but couldn't edit it. And if you weren't on the user list, you couldn't even open it or see it or anything. So you have those files that are locked down. Well, those attributes follow the file around. So if you've copied those things from a camera or another computer or an external drive, at some point, some operating system may have assigned those values to it. And now your username does not match up with what's on the disk. Now, if it's not being managed by an operating system, you can pretty easily go through all of those files, right-click, go to security, see what attributes, and just reset them back to, your own. But I have a feeling if you've got one, you've probably got 1,000 files that are in that deal. So that's why I'm saying go to see a video on resetting file permissions on maybe whole folders, whole groups of files, and whatnot. Because it's not hard, but it's worthy of following. A step-by-step list, or you risk maybe losing some data or at least resetting it. So, George, thanks for that phone call. I appreciate it. And I will be reading text messages in the next hour. We do have some guests that are going to be coming up here in the 2 segments from now, too. Reason being is I have this idea that we've been throwing around to have some space on radio, social media, and whatnot that is dedicated to highlighting sort of entrepreneurs and people that are participating in the business world. And I come across a lot of business owners that are doing some pretty amazing things in our area, and you guys don't even know they're out there. And because they're low key, they're just doing their thing. Maybe they're in industries that aren't sexy in industries, or they don't get much media attention and whatnot. So, and especially these guys, they're sort of, I'll wait till their introduction to tell you about them. But I've been, since the day that I met them, fascinated with what it is that they do. So we'll meet up with them here in a little bit. So let me, I got a text message. Oh, no, never mind. That wasn't for me. Okay, so things that on this program after that, we will talk about some. I want to dedicate. We had a request that came in through text messages last week that we talk a little bit about hardware and picking out equipment when you make a retail purchase. And so every once in a while, we'll do one of these. It's not a real. I'm not going to put too much time into, but all of us have to buy this equipment. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're walking into a retail and you're depending on a salesperson whose motivation is to sell you equipment, not to put the time in to figure out what it is that you need. So I'm going to give you some general guidelines when you go out on the retail side, what you need to be looking for. So hopefully by the end of the show, I'll give some information away that helps you just be a better consumer when you're picking this stuff out, because it's still it's pretty expensive, especially if you make a mistake on the equipment purchase. You could be wasting some money, and want to save you from that, if at all possible. And let me give you the information on Youngstown Computer. I won't have a chance to mention it throughout the program, but if you're interested in scheduling Youngstown Computer, we got a couple of field service guys that we're getting started out and we'll be more than happy to get some network assignments to new customers. So 330-259-7278. I got yelled at last week because I didn't mention the phone number at all, so I'm mentioning it now in the beginning and before I forget. So 330-259-7278. If you want to call, leave a message, and let us know that you're interested in having Youngstown Computer field your internal IT stuff. Just a real good way, instead of having your own internal IT staff, you can outsource it to us, and we could play that role for you. Small, medium businesses, it's great to, rather than having someone on the payroll 5 days a week, it's a little bit cheaper to be able to outsource it to a place like Youngstown Computer. So again, 330-259-7278. All right, we're going to take this break. We're going to come back. You can do calls all show long, so feel free. You can also text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
There's a lot of electricity in the air.
In Iran, the border, China,
Venezuela.
2020. Abortion.
Roe v. Wade.
Know what's about to happen.
inform the American people.
570 WKBN.
Scored a new smart speaker during Amazon Prime Day or ahead of the crowd and already have one? Let iHeartRadio put Alexa to work for you. Your Alexa can get you a trip to Vegas to experience the iHeartRadio Music Festival front row. Super easy to enter. First, link your free iHeartRadio account in the Alexa app. Next, say, Alexa, play the iHeartRadio Music Festival station, and you're automatically entered to win. That's it. Vegas for the weekend. Front row tickets to the iHeartRadio Music Festival and $1,000 cash. All from iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. It's our biggest tire sale of the year. It's the annual tent sale going on now at Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. Now through July 31st, every tire we carry is on sale. Tires as low as $49.99 each. And when you buy 3 select Yokohama tires, you'll get the 4th tire free. That's right, buy 3, get 1 free on select Yokohama tires. Hurry in because this event only comes once a year. Stop by any Flynn's Tire location or shop online at flynnstire.com.
And tell them Finney sent you.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Greg. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Greg. That's 4hims.com/Greg.
Time's running out to win $5,000 a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $5,000 a week after week, for life. Don't miss your chance to win because $5,000 a week for life is guaranteed to be awarded on August 30th. Enter at PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. August 30th, you could win $5,000 a week for life. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/27. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
The Nikki Fiesel Foundation presents Fire and Thunder at the Hollow. Join me, Fast Freddy, and 93.3 The Wolf on Saturday, July 27th for the 9th annual Nikki Fiesel Cystic Fibrosis Explosion of Hope benefit at Buffalo Hollow in Petersburg. Fire and Thunder at the Hollow is going to be bigger and better than before. 4 fireworks shows, choreographed to music, skydivers if the weather permits, camping, and so much more. Gates open at 4. Tickets at NikkiFieselFoundation.org. Fire and Thunder at the Hollow, Saturday, July 27th. Don't miss it.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
It's time for Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. The temperature outside is rising, but our prices are dropping. It's our sizzling summer sales event. Now is your chance to save thousands on a huge selection of brand new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, like the brand new 2019 Chevy Silverado LT Double Cab for only $248 per month. Got credit problems? Get approved faster and easier than ever before with the all-new Team Taylor Credit Amnesty Program. Calling all trades. Only Taylor Chevrolet gives you $4,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade. It's time for Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. Drive TaylorChevrolet.com. Find new roads.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
qualified buyers, 39-month lease, $1,449 due at signing, plus tax, title, license, $10K per year. Must qualify competitive lease. Stock number C196089. See dealer for details.
Burnett Pool's financing event is happening right now. Take advantage of 0% APR for 60 months on all new hot tubs and above-ground swimming pools. Now's the time to own a hot spring spa, the world's #1 selling hot tub brand, or the perfect time to choose your new swimming pool. Visit Burnett Pool's locations in Cortland, Canfield, and Newcastle, or online at burnettpools.com. With low monthly payments on approved credit, it's easy to step into a new hot tub or above-ground pool.
Burnett Pools, we've got it all.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. This is your Saturday show where we talk about things that are happening in tech. I don't know if I made mention last week, but Neuralink, which is a Elon Musk company, last weekend made an announcement that they were going to have a press conference on Tuesday, real late in the day, and didn't know what it was about. This is one of those companies of his that doesn't get many headlines, but what it is, they're developing a lot of artificial intelligence. And their main complaint with most of the artificial intelligence is human beings still, no matter what we do, will be interfacing with computers and robots and software through analog means, sight, touch, taste, stuff like that. And it's increasingly hard to do meaningful things interaction-wise with computers. And so Neuralink is a way that they're trying to interface the neurons of the brain to be able to have a digital connection between inward and outward. And in the end, being able to send information directly to the brain through this Neuralink, and also to harvest information out of the brain through Neuralink. And you just know what kind of concerns are coming out of this technology. And in the interim, like the beginning of this is that how they're going to sort of wedge their way into the marketplace is that people with Parkinson's and people with things that alter how the brain functions, if you can hijack the brain and hack how it's working when it's not working well, you could give quality of life to people who just couldn't through chemical drugs or anything like that. But as soon as we prove out the fact that we can hijack the brain, then there's a whole host of privacy and, us versus the robots kind of conversations that happen. So I think we're ready to have that conversation. I don't mind them dabbling in it for the sake of, medicine. And as long as it's regulated and as long as it's controlled, that it doesn't get out of hand, I'm completely cool with that because that's going to prove out to people would otherwise really not to have, be able to enjoy life like you and I do. And so, if you're driving around and you have an electric car, it's connected to the network and it's connected with cellular phones, somebody can hijack your car and drive you into a wall, like right now, right? And so we're tackling those concerns as we interface more of the things we depend on being connected to the network. So ATM machines and traffic lights and hospitals and all of them have the ability to be hijacked by an outside source. And until we sort of have a handle on the controls and the regulations and the infrastructure, because you're not going to take something that's important and connect it directly to the outside world because it's going to get hacked and hijacked. So interesting conversation. Neuralink, they're going to be studying some test candidates, some monkeys, and they launched a YouTube video shortly after the announcement. So if you want to go watch Neuralink's Elon Musk presentation. One of the neuroscientists came in, maybe Elon did an 8-minute speech, and then everything else was one of these CEOs of Neuralink. Really fascinating stuff if you dig that kind of thing. So check it out. It's over on YouTube. Just search for Neuralink. And I think it was Tuesday night they even released it. All right, so 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570. Next up, we got a couple guests we're going to talk to. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
Hey, it's Ron Vert for Nature Stone.
You know garage floors, when they get wet, can be slippery and you can fall, break an arm, break a hip. They might be pitted or cracked. We can make them look terrific, and we can put all those worries behind us with the help of Nature Stone. Right now, I want you to go to naturestone.com, naturestone.com, naturestone.com. Have them come on out, give you an estimate. It's free. And you know what? You want to do it now because you can save up to 50% off during the month of July. Make sure you do it. Go to naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Here's what's happening. More charges are pending for Nicholas Yukon. He's the man charged in a child pornography raid in Youngstown on South Hazelwood this past Wednesday. A couple was rushed to the hospital after crashing their car yesterday into the Chase Bank in Howland. Police say the driver hit the gas instead of the brake. Warren police arrested 52-year-old Sean Flowers. He's charged with shooting 22-year-old Richard Nichols on July 7th. Flowers has been in the Trumbull County Jail 20 times on 54 different charges. Youngstown police arrested Taylor Graham. They say she attacked another woman and stabbed a man several times Thursday in the 1500 block of Florencedale Avenue. Liberty police are looking for a suspect and a vehicle involved in a shooting early this morning near Monticello Apartments on Jefferson Court. LSD lace pot was seized in a Youngstown traffic stop. One man was arrested. 2 others were cited. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2. From the O'Charley's Digital Studios, $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's. For your home or business, call Mazza's Heating and AC in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Hot and humid this afternoon with heat index readings jumping into the low 100s. Daytime highs, low 90s. Warm and humid tonight, lows in the mid 70s. With your Storm Team 27 forecast, I'm meteorologist Paul Wetzel.
Hi, this is Bob Davis with Fairway Ford in Canfield. Fairway has a great selection of Ford SUVs on sale, like over 100 brand new Ford Escapes available starting under $20,000, or lease your new 2019 Ford Escape SE for under $300 a month. That's right, under $300 a month for a 36-month lease with absolutely zero out of pocket. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Hospitals and major healthcare providers want you to believe one thing. They want you to believe you do not have a choice when it comes to medical imaging. Hospitals can hit you with thousands of dollars in medical bills. Don't listen. Go where so many have gone and have saved thousands of dollars on their medical imaging. DMXI. You don't have to pay those ridiculous hospital fees. DMXI is here to help you. It's your decision where you have your imaging taken. Trust DMXI. Go to DMXI.com or stop in at their local location just off Todd Avenue in Boardman.
Hey guys, pardon the advertising interruption to your radio program. Do yourself a favor and please listen carefully. If you have tried or wanted to try Viagra or other male prescriptions in the last few years, you need to hear about Noxitril, the super pill that will transform your sex life forever. You see, Noxitril has been formulated and developed in U.S. FDA labs, and it's the real deal. Noxitril works, period. Strong results that increase blood flow fast. And best of all, there are no side effects like prescription meds. After years of research, the developers of Noxitril got it right. This remarkable pill is off the charts. Right now, we encourage you to take advantage of our incredible free bottle offer. So what are you waiting for? Noxitril. It's that good.
Find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 800-993-1560. 800-993-1560. Free bottles for a limited time. Call now. 800-993-1560. 800-993-1560.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. This is your Saturday show where we talk about things that are happening in tech. Got a couple guests in the studio today. We've got Bob and Rick. Welcome to the show today, guys.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having us this afternoon.
Absolutely. Let me give you a little primer about these guys. So they're customers of Youngstown Computer. We met them. I actually grew up in Girard, and I had no idea that Centricity was like right around the corner. Now, when did you guys open Centricity?
Well, we started around 1988.
Okay, so
we took over the old Ohio Bell building, so we've been around for a while.
So I was fascinated with technology, and I had no idea that a company that did what you guys do were like right around the corner. You know how much I would have like bugged you and come down to your office to see what you were into?
We would actually put you to work.
Oh, yes, yeah. Think about how things would have been different. But so tell everybody what Centricity does over in Girard.
Well, we for years have been automation equipment builders. We're engineers. We design special machinery, and we've created some product lines for the automation industry.
So what that means, guys, so in manufacturing, when you instead of having a person do a repetitive task, these guys bring either some kind of automation, robotics or mechanical something that achieves a task. Is that about right?
You're right on the money.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm telling you guys, these guys are amazing. They're probably one of the smartest, people that we get to meet. So when I go in their office, my tongue dangles out a little bit about whatever new project they're working on. These aren't small things that you build.
Joe,
they're
Bob's
big.
turning red now.
Is he really?
No, there's certainly not small things we build, although some are. But what Centricity has geared itself towards is the more difficult, the more impossible, the less likely. Yeah, if it's a simple task, in all due respect, you can find 100 people between Cleveland and Pittsburgh that can build equipment to do that. Centricity's carved a niche out where we do the very unusual kind of products, and our customer base, aerospace, defense, automotive, electronics, pharmaceutical, right on down the line. Again, not the everyday kind of put a ballpoint pen together, but a very high level of technology in the equipment that we design and build.
Well, what I get, the impression I get, like if you guys ever watch MythBusters, did you like? And where they got the mad scientists that just go crazy with trying to figure stuff out? That's what the feeling I get when I'm around you when you guys are in the midst of a project. Is that about what? Does that sum it up?
Yeah, we've had our moments though too.
Yeah, Rick's really the mad scientist in the group. The rest of us try to figure out how to make it happen after he comes up with the idea.
All right, so how often do you put the white coat on and just go crazy with trying to figure something out?
Well, that happens on a daily basis.
Every day.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
We've been fortunate in the projects we've had and the experiences we've been through. So we've been very lucky.
Okay. And your staff, it's you guys and Chris is what would you say Chris does down there?
Chris is our CAD engineer.
Okay.
And he's the guy that does all the modeling and does some of the graphics for us.
Okay, and these guys have a 3D printer, so when they couldn't wait to show up me the 3D printer when they were coming here. Tell me about that story too. How you guys got involved in?
That's a fantastic tool. It's allowed us to save a lot of time and money. I mean, we can create a 3D model and send it to the printer, and the next morning we have a part. Or versus prior to that, we'd send out drawings. Machine shops would quote it, and we'd get the pricing, and then 3 weeks later, after we placed the order, we'd get the part. Now we have it the next day.
Dang.
And for us, the benefit to that technology is tremendous because, again, we're not the everyday, everybody can do it kind of automation house. We're always doing the unusual, unknown, undone before kind of technology, and having 3D printing capabilities where we can physically assemble prototypes and test things within a couple days, as opposed to maybe 4 or 6 weeks in the old days, is just a huge benefit to us.
Yeah, and I can imagine if you're experimenting with something and you think something will work, it'd be you could come across some stuff that don't work just as often as you do, right?
Many times.
Yeah.
We don't get the first part to be right
so
the
you
first time.
whip up a little bit alteration on the design until you get close. That's amazing for guys like you to work through a problem. So now, who did you guys know about 3D printing, or did you learn it all yourselves?
Actually, our CAD guy was very experienced in it.
Okay.
He had played around with it for years prior to it being as available as it is now. And so he was pretty experienced, and it's come so far now that it doesn't take a whole lot to do. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's pretty user-friendly to go from a CAD model to an actual part. And again, it's the next day we have the part.
And I don't want to sound like an advertisement for 3D printing, but the pricing has fallen so much that small companies like us, not only is the software relatively easy to deal with, but without investing a tremendous amount of money, you can put these capabilities into your company and be up and running in a week or so.
Yeah, and the interfaces have gotten so good that pretty much anybody can use them and get them printing something.
Exactly right. We take a file, we convert it with one keystroke, send it to the printer, and it starts printing.
All right. So let me tell you about this. I came in their shop one time, and they had this really MythBusters-like setup where they were had sensors going, and they said, "Joe, come here. I want to show you this." Right? They got super excited about this product that they were putting together, and you know, let's lay this out a little bit first. You know, so they design the rigs for the manufacturing, because that's what your wheelhouse with Centricity, manufactured the actual pieces that built it. The whole thing was pretty much done in-house, right? I mean,
Well, actually, we used to have a full machine shop, and that was not smart for us to do. It was we ended up spending more time keeping the shop busy than doing what we do best. So there are so many good machine shops in our area that we take advantage of that. We create the design. We send out the drawings, parts are manufactured, we bring them in-house, we do the assembly, we add the controls to it, and we debug and ship it right out of Girard, Ohio.
That is so cool. So let's talk about the product that you were excited about. And so they were working on this proximity sensor when I came in there the first time that was trying to pick up motion, right, to make a light turn on. And I'm thinking they're doing all of this testing where they're recording on a notepad like distances and angles, and they're moving things around. I'm like, oh, this is very sciencey. I'm loving this. So tell us what you were working on with that product.
Well, that is a motion sensing circuitry that is actually going to be that it is actually in our new product. And for years we've had automation products, and we have a product line for automation equipment. But this is our first shot at a consumer product. So we developed a new type of grab bar system that, in this case, will have a motion sensing device inside of it. And when you walk into a dark room, rather than stumble or flip on the light switch and be startled, the grab bar will light up with a soft glow and provide the safety that you would need, especially as we're getting older. It'll actually give the security you really need in the middle of the night.
Right. And, you know, these guys having an engineer in-house was probably able to develop this product a lot better than the stuff that was on the marketplace. When he got excited, he likes to demo stuff. So he has these cutaways that illustrate why what he does is better. He gets excited when he talks about his stuff, too. I love that about you.
Oh, yeah, we are fired up.
So tell me about the product and what makes it different, and give your little pitch here so that people in this area. I'll tell you about this. But the people who listen to this program are super loyal to support local and small business. So I want to give them some red meat, and if they want to prop it up and support guys that are doing it local, I want to give them the outlet to do that. So go ahead and tell them about what you're doing.
Okay, well, it'd probably be best if I start at the beginning, how this really came about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had an old friend that was getting up in age and having trouble getting around, so he asked me to come over and install a grab bar. So I went to Home Depot, bought the standard grab bar that you'd buy off the shelf, and went over to Joe's house and did the installation, and actually struggled with it a little bit because, first of all, they give you 3 screws that are actually sheet metal screws.
Let me interject for a minute. You're hearing I struggled a little bit from a graduate mechanical engineer with 40 years experience.
Yes.
But anyway, Joe had some problems, and I finally got the grab bar in old construction and got it done. But a couple of problems with it is one is that the spacing of the grab bar doesn't match studs. So you buy a grab bar which really needs to be installed in studs to be as secure as you need. It didn't match those up. But we struggled through that and got it done. And I kind of forgot about it. And then my wife wanted the master bathroom remodeled. So did that. And at the end of that project, she said, well, why don't we put a couple grab bars in there? So I went to Home Depot, bought the standard grab bar, brought it home, showed it to her. She says, you're not putting that in my bathroom. I said, what are you talking about? She said, that looks like it belongs in a hospital or a gas station. So I went to the designer grab bar kitchen and bath store and bought the $150 one, brought it back, and I said, how's this look? She said, well, that's better. So I installed it and had the same installation problems that I had with the Home Depot version. So I started thinking there's got to be a better way. Went online, did some research, couldn't find anything that was not the cookie cutter grab bar that you see in all the stores. So we made some prototypes in our shop that we felt was a better design, easier to install, much better looking. And really that's where we started. And then it took about 3 years to get to the point we are now. And now we have one that looks very nice, installs very easily, has a lot of advantages that the traditional grab bars don't have. And it's made in Girard, Ohio.
That is so cool. I love those stories because an engineer sees a problem and immediately the gears go, right?
That's
You're ready to
exactly
solve it. So where you got the idea to do this. Now where's your sweet spot? Like what do you want to do with these grab bars? Do you want to be in hospitals? Do you want to be in bathrooms? What's your
Well, ideally, we think there's a couple markets here, and certainly one market is the homeowner. The population, as you know, lives longer and longer every year. The need for these kind of safety devices in bathrooms, kitchens, hallways, stairways, just continues to increase. As Rick mentioned, no matter how good a grab bar is, if the installation is not correct, you have a weak system. So one thing we attacked was the ease and security of the installation. But we certainly see the market in this being everywhere from, the large users, the hotel chains, the dormitories, college dormitories, hospitals, nursing homes. But we also see it every bit as much Tom and Mary that live next door that need the security in their house that they currently don't have.
Right. So the ones that you found at Home Depot, okay, and then you had the super designer ones that were $150. Where's your product fit in a pricing line?
Yeah, we're a little bit more than the Home Depot product, but we're much less than the high-class designer. And we feel, and we've had some focus groups, that our product is very elegant, and we've had a lot of compliments on that. Plus, we have some other things we can do with it. We can personalize the grab bar. We can put, because of our design, we can put logos, monograms, any graphic that you submit to us, we can actually put right on the grab bar.
So you can take the branding for the customer that you're serving and put their stuff on it and make it
right.
really personalized.
We've made ones that look for Starbucks, for example, or the Marriott, things like that. Or if you wanted your initial on there, or a picture of your child. So any graphic that you can send us from a computer standpoint, we can actually put on the grab bar.
So now, go ahead.
And as you would suspect, the product line, which started out as a standard grab bar, has grown into a lighted grab bar. That lighted grab bar, by the way, is motion activated. It also has ambient light sensing. So it's battery operated, which means you don't have to call the local electrician to come in and install your lighted grab bar. But to get very good life out of the batteries, we put ambient light sensing built right into the system. So if you walk into the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the lights don't come on. There's no reason. The personalized bar that Rick just spoke about, we're in the throes of launching another version, which is a Z bar. And it's a bar that actually looks like the letter Z. And it works because the lower leg of the Z is at an elevation where if you were, for instance, sitting on a toilet, is in the correct position. Once you get up and you're in a standing position, now you have another section of the bar that supports you there. So we see the product line continuing to grow, starting off of, let's call it the very simple, 24-inch long grab bar that's now running into many, many versions, and will continue to do that.
Right. Now, I'm as mechanically disinclined as you can get. Do you think I could install one of these things? You really can? You think
I
so?
really do, Joe, because we have what we call single point fastening, which requires one fastener in each mount. There's only 2 mounts per bar. And the one of the advantages of our system is the fact that the mounts can slide. So you don't have to have a perfect mounting distance. So you put each mount in, you can slide the bar in the mounts and then lock them down very simply. There's no exposed crevices like you would in a conventional grab bar. There's no silicone required. We have a gasket seal. We have, again, as I mentioned, the bar can slide back and forth. and we have several different looks. You can customize your bar depending on your decor. So we have some functionality and some aesthetics that the other grab bars do not have.
One other thing not to overlook here as well, and again, coming from the engineering background that we do, is that if you buy a conventional grab bar at a big box store, it comes with typically 6 screws that go into wood studs. Well, if you go look at your bathroom after this show ends, you're going to find a likelihood that maybe one end goes into a stud, the other end goes into drywall, may go into a fiberglass shower enclosure, could go into ceramic tile. When you go to our website, you can actually select through what your installation is, and we'll ship to you the correct fastener kit based on the substrate that you have to actually mount your bar to. We've all gone through the frustration of going to the big box store. You buy something, bring it home, get ready to do something with it, and realize, well, here's 3 more things I need. So back to the big box store you go. We give you an opportunity to make all those decisions and actually put together a package to do what it is you want to do one time out of the gate.
All right, we're going to take this break. We're going to come when we come back, we'll tell you guys out in our audience if you want to support these guys in their endeavor, give you all the information to be able to find them out on the web and out in real life and whatnot. So you're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Hey, gang, we do the show live every day, 8 to noon, but if you can't catch it, we're on the podcast. Just search Dan Rivers 570 WKBN.
The Mount Carmel Society of Lowellville is celebrating their 124th annual Our Lady of Mount Carmel Festival. 4 big days of fun starting July 17th through the 20th from 6 to midnight. They have food vendors, rides, bocce, and more tournaments paired with performances by Steve Fazzini, Dominic Taco, and more. And they'll be featuring the famous Baby Doll Dance Wednesday through Friday, followed by a fireworks display Saturday at 11:30, brought to you by Zambelli. For more information, check them out on Facebook at Mount Carmel Society Lowellville.
Give your home an update with a new Mastercraft door from Menards and save with 11% off everything. Mastercraft makes great doors inside and out. Menards carries beautiful exterior and interior doors to fit the style that's right for you. Choose from our great selection of stock doors or design your door your way in-store and online with our door designer. Save 11% off all Mastercraft doors at Menards now through July 20th. Savings are mail-in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Enjoy the total comfort of a Shoreline or Summit Spa from BY Pools and Spas. Shoreline offers 7 models built to last and designed for comfort. Summit Spas offer passive impact therapy, advanced water care, even a Bluetooth audio system. Bring a sense of beauty to your backyard and serenity to your life with a Shoreline or Summit Spa from BY Pools and Spas. Struthers Road and 224 in Poland.
We're the one for family fun.
Time's running out to win $5,000 a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $5,000 a week after week for life. Don't miss your chance to win because $5,000 a week for life is guaranteed to be awarded on August 30th. Enter at PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. August 30th, you could win $5,000 a week for life. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/27. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
Is your child's foot comfort important to you? If it is, you need to get your kid some Skechers. You see, at Skechers, we're the comfort and fit specialists, and we've taken all this comfort and fit knowledge and applied it to the cutest, most comfortable boys and girls shoes on the planet. They're soft and flexible while still being durable. They're also super fashionable, have comfort innovations like Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam, and most importantly, they're affordable. Get your kids some Skechers at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
The backyard's looking great, Rob.
Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors?
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor? Home what? HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project and they match you with local pros that can do the job.
Nice. Now, how much does it cost?
Oh, HomeAdvisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free.
What's the website again?
HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free HomeAdvisor app.
Home Advisor.
I'm Dana Schwartz, and I'm the host of Noble Blood, a new history podcast from iHeartRadio and Aaron Mahnke that focuses on the stories of some of history's most fascinating royals, from the infamous to the almost forgotten. The world is full of ill-fated love affairs, bad decisions, and family drama. And when you're wearing a crown, mistakes tend to be deadly.
iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts, and it's easy to see why. Find Noble Blood on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're just finishing up here profiling a local company. The company name is Centricity. That is the wing of their operations that do automation systems for manufacturing. And then the new company is Smart Grab Bar. We listen to both Rick and Bob explain stuff about their companies. So if the public wants to get in touch with you and do business with you, please go ahead and share your information so they can get in touch with you.
Sure. Phone number is 330-545-4722. Our website is smartgrabbar.com. And we're at 25 South State Street, right downtown Girard. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to discuss with us, if you'd like to come in and see the product, we'd love to see you. So give us a call anytime. Thanks.
And you got these really smart guys that are here local, so I'd appreciate everybody in this audience that is in the market for that. If you have the expense anyway that you're going to be doing this, share that with a local company and support their efforts to do that. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you being
Joe,
here.
thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much, Joe.
Absolutely. Okay, that's Centricity and Smart Grab Bar. We'll also make sure that when we post this show that we put their details. If you missed that, we'll make sure you can get in touch. So Smart Grab Bar, the website again?
smartgrabbar.com.
Smartgrabbar.com. Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right. If I see Joe, I see you're out there. I know you've been hanging on there a while. We'll make sure that you get your call in when we come back from the next set of breaks. Also, in the coming hour, we're going to talk about some hardware and some purchasing strategies when putting this stuff together. But probably the most important topic that we're going to do is coming up next. We had a customer get impacted by a ransomware attack. And I mention this all the time, but I'm going to go into storytelling mode and take you step by step into the whole what it's like during, what it's like after, how to recover, the mentality that you have to take. Because honestly, when somebody else serves that consequence, we talk about it so that we can all sort of make preparations so that we don't also have to serve, that consequence along with it. Because it's an expensive and time-consuming thing to have to traverse through, and it's a very scary thing. So if you're not aware, so these people, these hackers, are basically sneaking software on your machine, either through messaging or email or an infected website, and it basically encrypts and locks down all of your files, like encrypts them, like encryptions, like the stuff that's unbreakable. And then in order to get back into your files, you have to pay a ransom, and that's why it's an extremely hard thing to overcome, because they make it really expensive to be able to get your stuff back. So we're going to talk a little bit about that after the next set of breaks. Okay, Joe, hang on the line. We'll come back to you as soon as we get back, I promise. 330-729-9977. Text me, 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Ford in Canfield. We are proud to be the President's Award-winning Ford Super Duty dealer. Fairway is the #1 Ford F-Series dealer in the entire region. That includes Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and New York. We sell the most because we have over 400 trucks available. Choose from F-150s, 250s, 350s, F-450s, 550s, plus dualies and commercial trucks. Fairway Ford has them at rock-bottom pricing. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
General RV in North Canton is saying thank you with our Friends and Family event. This Wednesday to Sunday, you'll save up to 50% off travel trailers, up to 50% off fifth wheels, even up to 50% off motorhomes. It's our way of saying thanks for being part of the General RV family. Plus, enjoy special offers from Keystone. It's the perfect time to start making memories and save up to 50%. Visit General RV in North Canton off I-77 this Wednesday to Sunday.
On AM and thousands of devices, including Amazon Echo, Google Home, and Sonos. With our iHeartRadio app, 570 WKBN, Youngstown. It's 2 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. You expect it to be hot in July, but not as hot as it is today in 34 states. ABC's Kaylee Hartung is in New York City, where the mercury is expected to hit 98 with a heat index 10 degrees higher.
More than half the country is on alert for dangerous heat. New York, one of 29 states with soaring temperatures. Overnight, thousands of subway commuters were forced to wait in sweltering underground stations for hours after a network communications issue brought service to a halt. This strain coming just 1 week after a blackout affected Manhattan. Con Edison dedicating 4,000 crew members to responding to any issues that might arise.
At least one death is blamed on the heat. The U.S. is increasing its air patrols over the Strait of Hormuz after Iran seized a British oil tanker.
Iran seizing a British-flagged tanker with 23 crew members on board, traveling through the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian officials initially said it violated international maritime laws, but now say the British tanker collided with an Iranian fishing boat. A Liberian-flagged tanker was also briefly seized, but later released. The British Foreign Secretary says he's extremely concerned by the seizure, calling it unacceptable, even telling UK shipping to avoid the Strait of Hormuz for now.
ABC's Stephanie Ramos in Washington. In Puerto Rico, protesters chant in the nation's capital. They're calling on the island's Republican Governor Ricardo Rosselló to resign for sending messages on a chat app that are described as racist and sexist to top aides. A number of top government officials have been fired, but Rosselló refuses to step down. It was 50 years ago today.
The Eagle has landed.
The crew of Apollo 11 as the lunar module touches down on the surface of the moon. Moments later, Neil Armstrong sets foot on it, saying, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." You're listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening. More charges are pending for a man arrested in a child pornography raid in Youngstown. Nicholas Yukon's bond was set at $16,500. Several agencies arrested him at his home Wednesday on South Hazelwood on the city's west side. A couple was rushed to the hospital after crashing their car yesterday into Chase Bank in Howland near the intersection of River and Elm Roads. Police say the driver hit the gas instead of the brake. A Warren man is in the Trumbull County Jail on charges related to a shooting earlier this month. Police arrested 52-year-old Sean Flowers. They charged him with shooting 22-year-old Richard Nichols on July 7th. Nichols showed up at the hospital with gunshot wounds. Jail records show Flowers has been booked into the Trumbull County Jail 20 times on 54 different charges. A Youngstown woman was arrested after police say she attacked another woman and stabbed a man several times. The incident happened Thursday in the 1500 block of Florencedale Avenue. Police say Taylor Graham lunged at another woman, hit her in the face. Officers say after talking to a witness, a man was stabbed before police got there. Police are looking for a suspect in a vehicle that was involved in a shooting early this morning near Monticello Apartments on Jefferson Court. The incident happened in Liberty Township. The victim was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A teen boy is dead after a shooting in Newcastle. It happened yesterday in a parking lot on Highland Avenue. Officers say they found the teen lying in the parking lot, identified as 17-year-old Darren Jevsik from Lawrence County. 41-year-old Michael DiBaggio was arrested. He admitted shooting the victim. LSD-laced pot was seized in Youngstown during a traffic stop yesterday. One man was arrested. Two others were cited. 28-year-old Antonio Wright, he was arrested on charges of felony drug possession. 26-year-old Richard Lisbon was cited for drug possession, as well as 24-year-old Jason Dunkel Thacker. He was charged with driving under suspension and failure to obey a traffic control device. From the Powers Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Cool your home for summer? Call Maz's Air Conditioning in Girard. 330-545-6063. Your factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Hot and humid this afternoon with heat index readings jumping into the low 100s. Daytime highs, low 90s. Warm and humid tonight, lows in the mid 70s. With your Storm Team 27 forecast, I'm meteorologist Paul Wetzel.
The Nikki Fiesel Foundation presents Fire and Thunder at the Hollow. Join me, Fast Freddy, and 93.3 The Wolf on Saturday, July 27th for the 9th annual Nikki Fiesel Cystic Fibrosis Explosion of Hope benefit at Buffalo Hollow in Petersburg. Fire and Thunder at the Hollow is going to be bigger and better than before. 4 fireworks shows, choreographed to music, skydivers if the weather permits, camping, and so much more. Gates open at 4. Tickets at NikkiFieselFoundation.org. Fire and Thunder at the Hollow, Saturday, July 27th. Don't miss it.
Buying a new truck has never been better at the Stadium GM Superstore. We've got over 150 Silverados and Sierras with savings up to 20% off MSRP. And buyers can save thousands more with 0% financing. Right now, you can lease the all-new redesigned 4-wheel drive crew cab Silverado for just $339 a month. And that's with 0 down. That's right, a new Silverado from just $339 a month with 0 down. So find new roads to the store where 0 down delivers every day. The Stadium GM Superstore in Salem.
Visit stadiumgm.com for details.
Folks who suffer from arthritis, back pain, knee pain, bursitis, or fibromyalgia, learn about targeted pain relief in just 15 minutes. Listen to Discoveries in Health this Sunday morning at 8:30, right here on News Radio 570 WKBN.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the horse, Joe Danier. Got my voice taken out screaming on roller coaster the other day, so I apologize. Don't sound like my normal squeaky mouse self. It's a weird version of it. So 330-729-9977. Joe's been hanging on a long time. Let's go to the phones first. Joe, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I got an HP computer that I bought brand new back in like 2014, and it was pretty lean out. It had a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it's got about 16 gigabytes of memory, and it's got I think an i7 dual core or quad core. I think it's a dual core. But what I'm saying is, what I want to ask you is, would it be worth it for me to bring it into you to change out that mechanical hard drive and switch it over to Windows 10?
Yeah.
Or would I be better off buying a new computer down the road, because I know about this Windows 7 thing, happening.
Yeah, I mean, you're in that spot where anything over 5 years is when you start to really having to consider replacing it. Now, you bought such a good machine. You bought ahead into the future a little bit. You're a little bit ahead of that curve. I would say it's like a coin flip where you might want to, because is it still performing pretty well for you?
Yeah, I don't have any problems with it whatsoever. And it's got Bluetooth in it and all that. The computer was originally set up for gaming. It was brand new. I bought it direct from HP, and I never had any problem with it. I'm just wondering, if I could just do you do that? Because I'm kind of leery about that mechanical hard drive giving out on me. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. That's probably the only weakness on the system. You're probably going to get about 20 or 30% performance increase when you go to solid state drive. So yes, we do. To answer your question, we do that. Just call our office. And we'll take a look at it. If there's anything glaring that I don't think it's a good idea, I'll let you know. I won't let you get invested in something if we don't want it to turn into a money pit where we do a nice big upgrade on something and then the power supply goes out the following week. So we'll take a look at it and see if it's a good candidate.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. And what Joe is referring to is the January of 2020, Windows is dropping support for Windows 7. And so we're starting to push everyone into doing Windows 10 upgrades. So we're in that mode where we're figuring out, we're advising people whether or not the machine they have, it's worthwhile to replace the whole machine, and then the new machine will have Windows 10, or if it's a good enough machine to be able to just upgrade the operating system and take advantage of that. And it's territory where some of them, like in his case, could go either way, where it wouldn't be a bad idea to use a machine he's obviously got enough memory. He's got a processor that's a little on the weak side, but it's an i7, so he's probably still, humming pretty good. With a solid state drive, you might be able to breathe another 4 or 5 years out of that. So as long as investment is $100 for the drive and a couple hours worth of service. It's definitely worth doing. So if anybody else is in that position where by the end of the year you're already starting to contemplate upgrade versus replacement, we'd appreciate it if you'd start contemplating a little bit early, because as the year gets thin, we're going to be very busy with these on the commercial side. So get in a little bit early, and we'll be able to give you much more time and attention than if you wait later in the year, because it's going to be madness. We were counting them up, and I think we got 35 of these upgrades or replacements by year's end, and we're trying to do 2 a week to stay up with it. And so you can do the math on that. I'm going to need a little bit more staff in order to do if we add too many more to the mix. So, yeah, give us a call, 330-259-7278 to get something scheduled. And on the residential, we don't really treat residential any different than commercial. We put you through the same standards. We, expect you to adhere to our, regular policies, on our road policies and delivery policies and whatever. So as long as you can integrate with the commercial services, we're more than happy to take you on and field your needs out just like we do everyone else. Again, that's 330-259-7278 is the phone number. I got a couple text messages, and I'll do that before I read that article. Let's see. And that was really nice having Centricity / Smart Grab Bar and on. I really do think that, a lot of this audience and a lot of people that I know, have a big, when we have the chance to support someone who's local, we take advantage of it. Restaurants, people who manufacture stuff, retail, this year, when my kid needed stuff for soccer, I went to a local, local sporting goods store rather than the big chains. I mean, for obvious reasons. But it felt better knowing that I supported someone who was, smaller and whatever. And because a lot of these little guys get chunks taken out of them from Amazon. And so anytime you could spend your money with a local company, especially if you're going to spend it anyway, it makes no sense to give your money to a different state or even a different country. Try to keep stuff here. And then brilliant guys like these two, stay in business and do really well here. And that's what we hope to do. Hey, Joe, John here. I'm in the process of creating a mobile game business geared towards small local business. Do you know any meetups or companies to help? There's a second part of this. With my startup, mainly advice, not financing. I'd be happy to talk to you. I don't necessarily know that I could take on anything in the short term with as much stuff as we've got going on. Score is basically it's a group of retired entrepreneurs that donate their time to be able to talk to people about doing their startups, theory, philosophies, that kind of stuff. Over my lifetime, I've met up with a couple score guys, and it really is a good starting point. So you can hear from someone who's been there, done that. There's a whole lot of marketing groups that meet up, and it seems like, especially in this era, marketing is going to be a significant part of your business. I'll have to go through my notes and find out that there's a meetup group that is on Facebook and social media. But yeah, why don't you give me your information? Email me, joe@youngstowncomputer.com. Let me know some details about the business and see if I can find someone to either hook you up with mentor-wise, because that happens all the time. I had a guy say that he was looking for a programming group. And, Joe Dunko is probably one of the most public figures that we have in this area that is managing a group of really talented programmers and developers. So anytime anybody has a web or development projects, I have no, hesitation and, getting them in contact with Joe and letting him ferret it out and see if we can come up with something. So really happy to always do that. And so, yeah, just give me your information and I'll see what I can do for you. Next one. Oh, and he said I was looking into Score mentoring. Okay, so awesome. Already know about Score. Joe, so glad I tuned into your radio at this time to hear your program. I have a few old computers that I want to get pictures and a few files off of them. 2 are gateways, and the hard drives may not spin up to access. 1 gateway drive I tried to send to someone in ERPA about 10 years ago, but costs were prohibited to extract files at the time. Anything you can suggest? We actually have a recovery company that we use, and I think they charge us about $65 to look at it, regardless if they can get anything out. off of it. And then they'll basically disassemble the drive, put it in a reading machine, find out how much is accessible, and give you sort of how much it would cost for that drive. And then you can give them the green light if you want them to continue the read on it. It still can be pretty expensive. I think a couple of them were a couple $100. Some of them were up to $1,000, depending on the level of damage. So it all depends on how much. I guess, or how important the information is. I guess if you are serious about it and you want us to get you in contact, you don't really. We'll give you the information. You can use our referral code for our portion of it. But we'll get you in touch with them if need be. So thank you for texting the program. All right, so let me tell you about this ransomware. So a customer of mine, or a customer of ours, I should say, had used their accounting program that was on a hosted service provider. So rather than having your server and your computer equipment host the file, you basically contract another company to give you access to data files, and then they manage the server that it's hosted on, the computer that it's hosted on, the company file, the backups, the updates, all that kind of stuff is handled by the company that's being contracted with. Well, these hosting companies are a huge target for these ransomware hackers and groups. And you got to assume that if they've got hundreds or thousands of people's financial data and they get them encrypted down, a lot of those people will pay the ransom in order to be able to get it back. So the percentage of people, like you can hit one of my customers, and if I've adequately done their backups, if you hit them, I'm just restoring their backups. You don't get any money out of them. So you wasted that effort. And hopefully, and that's what's been, stressing and frustrating those deals where they get hundreds and hundreds of these infections, but nobody pays the ransom. So they have to go after softer targets that have more reason to be able to pay the ransom. And that's why they're going after these providers right now. And so, most of the outsourcing that you would do to a major company to host this is because you would assume that their engineers and their security staff would be able to do a better job than you can do on your own. And that surely wasn't the case because of how sophisticated these hackers are getting with getting into systems and just en masse just encrypting all of the data that you could possibly get. And so, we put a major emphasis on backups, and not just regular backups, but hidden backups that you have a part of your system that's accessible from the network, and you have a part of your system that just manages backups. So if you have data that's just sliding around on there and everything gets infected on the network side, your backup part of your network is isolated from the rest of your network. And that way it can't be encrypted and it can't be affected just because of the nature of the network. So we're going to dedicate some time over this fall while we're doing the Windows 10 upgrades. We're also going to be really putting a major effort into persuading most of you who aren't contemplating this malware attack and these malware, sort of these soft targets that are. So in this case, let's just say this customer outsourced all of its security. Their data is now locked up with an encryption virus. They could have, in addition to having that, taken maybe weekly manual backups, right? So I'd really like to get, if you have any important stuff that you feel secure about, it wouldn't hurt to have someone at least look at it and see if there's any weaknesses in your current standard. And you might be A-okay and not have to worry about anything, and I'll give you a thumbs up, and I'm not going to try to sell you anything. But it's a matter of, a lot of people who yesterday felt very secure in what they were doing today are thinking, how the heck did I get myself in this position? Because they're now at a huge disadvantage where their data, they're helpless. They can't do anything. So if you're in that deal, please give me a call, 330-259-7278. Leave word on the voicemail that you're interested in having that looked at. And I'm not going to call it a consultation because this is not a sales pitch. I'm literally saying there's a bunch of you out there right now. A light bulb just went off and said, I don't know if I'm secure or safe. And you're going to call me, and we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to look at what you have. And like I said, if I don't have an end where I don't want you to be, at a disadvantage. I don't want you to be vulnerable, and that's why I'm doing this. And so sit down with me. We'll see if there's a manual way that I can give you a hypothetical. First thing is hardware failure. Are we good for that? Second thing is fire and theft. Third thing is going to be ransomware, virus attacks, whatever. And a fourth thing we've been adding is if you have an internal user that makes a mistake, and then you need to go back a couple of revisions on a file. You don't know how, of all of the backups that we do, that's probably the number one thing that we do is restoring data back that a user just inadvertently either saved incorrectly or accidentally deleted or whatever. And we've had to resurrect these files more than you can imagine. And so all four of those, you sit down with me and say, hey, I want to be protected with ransomware. I want to be protected with hardware failure. I want to be protected with revisions against users and fire and theft. Go, right? And then I will look through all of your stuff and find out where you most need the help and then have a starting point with there. And I'm not a sales guy. I am totally an anti-sales guy when it comes to this stuff. We have enough work that we could be busy for the next, 20 years with how we operate. And so, I don't need to come and shake your environment down for stuff that, for us to work on stuff that you don't actually need. I'm only looking at it from you trust us and you've listened to us for years. We know what we're doing. And I know that there's somebody operating out there right now that doesn't even know that they're vulnerable, and they won't know it unless they let me sit in front of the keyboard and look through it. And if I get rid of the fear of me, insisting that there's more to do, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm literally going to sit there and say, if you need it, if you're vulnerable, here's how we fix it. But if you're not, I'm not touching it, and we're not going to mess with something that's not broken. All right, so again, that's 330-259-7278. Next segment, we could take some more of your calls. If you have any questions about anything we've talked about up to this point, feel free. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be right back.
Stories you're thinking about.
Improved border security.
There's more people than ever coming.
It's a humanitarian crisis. Crime.
Because I am a mom too.
Check in for this story and more.
It's important to know the facts.
The news stories are on 570 WKBN.
From iHeartRadio, #1 for podcasts, Hell and Gone.
I would not buy the story that she fell off this little porch. My daughter was beaten to death.
I'm Katherine Townsend, and I'm heading back to Arkansas on a new case to find out what happened to Janie Ward on September 9th, 1989.
When there's no justice done, it hurts a lot of people. It hurts the whole town.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia of Hermitage, now open. And Taylor Kia of Boardman. Get the ultimate Kia shopping experience and hassle-free credit approval from the Taylor Credit Team during our hot summer savings event. Test drive the 2019 Kia Optima or Sportage today. Both top safety picks. Calling all trades. Don't make a $6,000 mistake. Taylor gives you up to $6,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade. Taylor Kia of Boardman.com and the all-new Taylor Kia Hermitage.com. It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia.
Well-qualified buyers with approved credit on select inventory. Down pay and term vary. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 7/31/19.
The Mount Carmel Society of Lowellville is celebrating their 124th annual Our Lady of Mount Carmel Festival. 4 big days of fun starting July 17th through the 20th from 6 to midnight. They have food vendors, rides, bocce, and more tournaments paired with performances by Steve Fazzini, Dominic Taco, and more. And they'll be featuring the famous Baby Doll Dance Wednesday through Friday, followed by a fireworks display Saturday at 11:30, brought to you by Zambelli. For more information, check them out on Facebook at Mount Carmel Society, Lowellville.
Hey, folks, the numbers are in. Last year, Kelly Warren sold 384 homes in our area. How does she do it? Tune in Sunday mornings at 8 and find out how she can help you. Sunday mornings, 8 a.m., 570 WKBN. Again, Dan Rivers for WindowNation.com. Friends, what an offer we have. You know, you've heard me talking for Window Nation for the past month or two, and we said, you know what? You buy one, you get one. You buy two, you get four. That goes on and on and on. That's enough in itself, right? But listen to this, what we have right now. You pay literally nothing for 2 years. If you're hearing me right now, nothing for 2 years. Trust the window company I trust. WindowNation.com, 866-90-NATION to get one free window for every window, plus no down payment, no payments, no interest of any kind for 24 months. As I say, hey, save your money up. Use their money. 2 years from now, you make a balloon payment. You've had the benefit of windows for 2 full years, nothing down. You got to call 1-866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION, WindowNation.com.
Ever wonder why Europeans speak so many languages? Maybe it's because they use Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Babbel's 10 to 15-minute lessons and award-winning technology can have you speaking Spanish, French, or German within weeks.
I always thought I was bad at languages, but after using Babbel, I can tell you I was just taught the wrong way.
Now, try Babbel free. Go to Babbel.com or download the app. That's Babbel, BABBEL.com, or download the app to try for free.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is what we get to do on Saturdays here. 330-729-9977 is the phone number. Let me talk about podcasting here real quick, because we mention this a lot, and I don't necessarily think we slow down all the time and sort of illustrate what it is and how you use it. So podcasts are like this. So people create audio content, and then they will store their audio content somewhere. But they'll tag and they'll index their own audio content so that programs can go out there and find that audio content. So if you like the Youngstown Computer Show and you go to iHeartRadio, you could subscribe to the Youngstown Computer Podcast through the iHeartRadio app. And then whenever I produce more content, Dave uploads it to iHeartRadio, then that piece of audio will show as your index as a new piece of content. And so the platforms that we use, and they mentioned that your favorite podcasting app. And so what we're seeing here is pretty much lots of companies produce these apps that help you organize all of your content. And so what happens is when you have an Alexa, or you buy a car, or you have a smartphone, each one of those things you can have just about any podcast software you choose. And what I like to do is I like to pick one that is multi-platform. So when I go to my car, I have my contents there. My contents there. My phone, my contents there. And so we're trying to, at least in my case, I'm trying to pick the horse that's going to have the largest landscape of platforms, so that I don't have to keep adding the same podcast to different environments. I kind of want to pick one and have that one win. And and that's why I'm so excited about iHeart and what the effort that they're putting into podcasting, because I know that their platform is going to be something to be reckoned with. So I'm kind of picking iHeart as what I'm using here, and that's not just because this is an iHeart station, but I truly think that they've got the reach, or they've got the potential to be in the most spaces, and that's why I'm getting and adjusting all of my stuff so that they're my primary here. But some competing products, you have TuneIn, that it's integrated with the Tesla products, and also with, I think, Amazon as TuneIn. You have Google Podcast. You have what's that? There's another one that's pretty big, but I'll mention a couple of the names later in the program. But if you haven't downloaded the app for iHeartRadio or iHeartMedia, it's available both on the Apple Store and also the Google Play Store. So check that out. find some of your, you can search through there and find some of your favorite indexed podcast programming. Because I'm telling you, that's going to be in the future. I don't necessarily think that you're going to have to listen to much live stuff unless you want to, like live sports and maybe live programming like this. But I don't necessarily think that that you're going to have all of the stuff you watch. Most of it's going to be on demand, where when you're available, you go find it and you listen to it. And if you're not around, it's sitting there waiting for you when you are around. So that's the future. So starting to orient yourself on how podcasting works is probably a good idea. All right, Ron, I see you out there. We'll come take your call as soon as we get back from this break. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be right back.
Hi, this is Bob Davis with Fairway Ford in Canfield, and we're proud to be the President's Award-winning Ford Super Duty dealer. Fairway is the #1 Ford F-Series dealer in the entire region, including Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and New York. We have over 400 Ford trucks available. Choose from F-150s, 250s, 350s, 450s, 550s, plus dualies and commercial trucks, too. Fairway has them all at rock-bottom pricing. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Here's what's happening. More charges are pending for Nicholas Yukon. He's the man charged in a child pornography raid in Youngstown on South Hazelwood this past Wednesday. A couple was rushed to the hospital after crashing their car yesterday into the Chase Bank in Howland. Police say the driver hit the gas instead of the brake. Warren police arrested 52-year-old Sean Flowers. He's charged with shooting 22-year-old Richard Nichols on July 7th. Flowers has been in the Trumbull County Jail 20 times on 54 different charges. Youngstown police arrested Taylor Graham. They say she attacked another woman and stabbed a man several times Thursday in the 1500 block of Florencedale Avenue. Liberty police are looking for a suspect and a vehicle involved in a shooting early this morning near Monticello Apartments on Jefferson Court. LSD lace pot was seized in a Youngstown traffic stop. One man was arrested. 2 others were cited. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3. From the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's. Need an AC checkup? Call Maz's Air Conditioning in Girard. 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Hot and humid this afternoon with heat index readings jumping into the low 100s. Daytime highs, low 90s. Warm and humid tonight, lows in the mid 70s. With your Storm Team 27 forecast, I'm meteorologist Paul Wetzel.
Yeah, the 5-time CMA Male Vocalist of the Year and coach on NBC's The Voice, Blake Shelton, live in concert. Why live at YSU Stambaugh Stadium, Saturday, September 21st, with special guests Justin Moore and Tyler Farr. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Southwood South box office located in the Covelli Center. Produced by JAC Live.
Looking for something fun to do this summer? Come out to Copeland Oaks for our annual classic car cruise around the lake, Sunday, July 28th from 1 to 4 p.m. Enjoy free food, music, and lots of fun. That's Sunday, July 28th on the Copeland Oaks Retirement Campus, just off Route 62 in nearby Sebring. $5 registration for classic cars. All proceeds to benefit our local area food pantry. Dash plaques and trophies will be awarded for classic cars. It's family fun at Copeland Oaks Car Cruise, July 28th from 1 to 4.
Hey guys, pardon the advertising interruption to your radio program. Do yourself a favor and please listen carefully. If you have tried or wanted to try Viagra or other male prescriptions in the last few years, you need to hear about Noxitril, the super pill that will transform your sex life forever. You see, Noxitril has been formulated and developed in U.S. FDA labs, and it's the real deal. Noxitril works, period. Strong results that increase blood flow fast. And best of all, there are no side effects like prescription meds. After years of research, the developers of Noxitril got it right. This remarkable pill is off the charts. Right now, we encourage you to take advantage of our incredible free bottle offer. So what are you waiting for? Noxitril. It's that good.
Find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 800-993-1560, 800-993-1560 Free bottles for a limited time. Call now. 800-993-1560. 800-993-1560.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. This is your Saturday show where we talk about things that are happening in tech. I'm a huge fan of business and science and technology, especially the things that are happening around this area. I do my best to promote and support people that are trying to make a difference and putting themselves out there, taking big risks. And I really love our area for that, is that we've got some brave people with some nice big brains in their skull that are willing to take risks. And so I'm going to dedicate time, as we go along to highlight it. Because like I said, I lived in Girard my entire life, and I didn't know Centricity, a company that I really have an interest in, was right around the corner the whole time growing up. So let's try not to let that happen. Let's at least be aware of these people that are in our area so we can support them. Next week, we're going to have our community kitchen. This is sort of a different angle. We have the Coca family, who is I think they opened it and they created it and they put it together, and it's basically a whole group for community service that feeds those that are less than fortunate and gives them whatever. So we'll go into that next week, but I'm going to try to do at least one a week where we highlight people that are making a difference and inventing and doing some great things in our community. So 330-729-9977 is the phone number, and you can text me at 333-1570. Text messages. What I don't like about iHeart Podcasts is that they don't use the de facto method of using RSS feeds. Using RSS feeds lets you use whatever podcast receiving software you want. iHeart Podcasts are only available through their software. And that's sort of like, in the short term, that is a disadvantage, okay? Because you got fragmentation in the whole podcasting. It's almost like the AOL thing. If somebody would just take a hold and make the same kinds of things available to everyone, then the ease of use. So you have a whole different market that then could start using it because it's a little bit easier to understand. The downside is then you have a gatekeeper. You have someone that either can say yes or no. So what I heard has to, if they set up a proprietary method for indexing, they also have to make it really super easy to submit an index under their proprietary method. And that's why I've really got my eyes on them, because they're sophisticated. They know what they're doing. And, it might feel a little defensive, their play be a little defensive at this point, but I really think that they're going to make this super easy. And we'll watch them. I mean, and really that's what's beautiful about it, is that, anything can happen and anybody can invent a new way of doing things. But definitely something to keep your eye on. So thank you for that text message. Appreciate it. And so somebody sent me an article about the Google Digital that they're going to be bringing to town here in Youngstown to pick up where the Vindicator left off. And it was an interesting article. It happened very quickly, and I started wondering, like, how many other markets did did Google picture a vulture showing that you have an ailing newspaper, and they just kind of circle and wait until they flail, and then they swoop in and do this digital thing in different markets. And that's the picture was painted for me that way, and maybe it didn't go down like that. But I'm wondering, like, how much cooperation was offered while the Vindicator or while other newspapers were still around, where they could have probably used the help to be able to stay in business rather than waiting for them to fail. And again, I don't know that that's how it went down. It could have been that they offered help and it was turned down. I don't know. I'm not in those circles. But, again, having these, I'm not going to call them new, because we're all used to getting digital content, but the new way of having digital content, like, abruptly replace sort of, paper content, that's something that, it's going to take some getting used to, especially from people. We have the Tribune, who offered to extend their paper copy down to the Mahoney County, offering a complete new edition, or a separate edition for Mahoney County. We'll see. Again, we'll see how that goes down with people buying into that paper. It was great. That was a great sort of if their model works, so that was a great thing to do. But as far as digital, so if you as a consumer out there, how likely are you now to say, okay, well, we don't have the Vindicator now, everything I was getting there, let's go try to source it out and find, a digital version of this. So call me up, 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570 and let me know what your plans are, what you're going to do after the Vindicator is no more. My concern is we've got some really talented people and reporters and content creators that I really hope they find a place where, I was halfway hoping that once the paper copy died, that those people would kind of just get together and create something new to replace it using the same talent that we had locally. I didn't really necessarily want an outside group to fill that void. I really wanted our entrepreneurs to stand up and fill that void on our own. I'm going to call it disappointment, but I really wish this area would do more of that, where so many, if there's an opportunity that pops up, there's 9,000 people competing to be able to fill that void. So much entrepreneurship and so many problem solvers and so many engineering brains. And we've got the talent and the intellect here. I just don't know why we're so slow on, doing this internally, and, why there's such hesitation. So if you've got some insight on it, please, I'd love to talk to you. 330-729-9977, is the phone number. So as promised, I was going to talk a little bit about hardware purchasing and sort of the insight that you take when you're purchasing. And I don't know how you're buying stuff now. I don't know if most of us go into a retail shop like Office Max or Best Buy, if you like to be physically in front of the machine, or if you're ordering online where you go to Amazon or you go to Dell or you go to HP and you configure your machine and have it shipped, or what. But I'm going to assume that you do research just like anything else, where you kind of know what you want and what you're buying. So I'm going to go just give you some general ideas, and this is meant for everybody. So if you already kind of know how these things work, then a lot of this is going to be just stuff that you might already know. So the first thing that you're going to be asked is the processor that you're interested in. And so they make different models of processors depending on how you're going to use the machine. And as annoying as that question is, everybody asks it and everybody needs to know it if they're selling you a machine. What they're really trying to get at, are you a user that's just going to be doing sort of low-end internet stuff? You're checking your mail, you're visiting web pages and whatnot. Or are you a high-end user where you're going to be doing video editing and gaming and stuff like that? The high-end stuff uses lots of system resources and CPU cycles, and it needs more stuff in order to power the software that enables you to do that. So when they ask you that, they put you on the spot, and your brain will probably say, well, I don't want a computer that can't do that, so I might even say I might do that. And then you end up sort of like mid-range, where it can do more than just get on the internet, but it's not necessarily got all this horsepower that you might or probably won't use. But if you dabble in development, then it might be able to handle it well enough to be able to let you dabble. That's the safe spot. So the one that we pick out, the processor that is pretty universal, whether you're a low-end user or a high-end user, gets you by in a pretty good way, and it's got enough value into it where you're not overpaying for research and development, would be the i5 processor. And right now I think we're on 9th generation, is pretty pretty cost-effective. So the first thing you're going to look at is if you're, in the middle range, you're going to look for an i5 processor. AMD makes a competing version. You can save a little bit of cost on the AMD side. And traditionally, you had, these guys were trying to outdo one another. So you had AMD that really put their technology into the gaming industry. So if you want to do gaming and and it was a little bit cheaper, that you would definitely go down the AMD, a cheaper processor, and I could play games awesome. That's, great. And then Intel went the consistent, I'm running Word, Excel, and it's the business platforms where I needed reliability and stability. And so you had the two ends where Intel was a little expensive, but they were a little bit more reliable and consistent. You had AMD that was a little cheaper, but they were able to be pushed through some limits of graphics and whatnot. So that was usually your main focus. They've both gotten so good at what they do. I buy a lot of Intel stuff only because the motherboards that I like are Intel based. And so I don't have anything against AMD per se. In fact, I've purchased and there's some computers on the market that we've manufactured that have AMD processors, so I'm not against them. But primarily, if you buy one off the shelf from me, it's going to be an Intel i5 9th generation, and on a board that I have a couple of manufacturer or brand names that I stick to. MSI has been my recent favorite, and the second brand would be Asus. Now, this is just for people who are putting together themselves. When you buy one from Dell or HP or whatever, you don't really get your choice of board brands. But I was just kind of sharing the rationale between what processor that I pick out. So the first one's going to be i5. Second thing you're going to want to look at is the amount of memory that ships with or that comes with the machine. And so your usually configuration choices are going to be 4 gigs, which is on the super low side. 8 gigs are going to be sort of standard, and then 16 gigs are going to be really good. Now, the RAM is not sort of your storage space per se, so you're not going to be saving your Word documents to your RAM. This is basically environmental resources. So as the computer makes sense of your data, it has to store it somewhere while you're using it and operating it, and RAM is where it puts that. And so the more that you have for the system to use, the more it can kind of spread itself out and take loads off of other components. So you want to have adequate and you want to have enough. So if you open your event viewer, your task manager, and you go to performance, it's going to share sort of your utilization of how much memory you have and how well it's being used by the machine. And your operating system will take advantage of whatever you throw it out. But this is a good indication to see how close to being at capacity you are with your current machine. And then so if you want to use your current machine to get a handle on what your normal activity is, that's a good indication of doing it. Our machines at least have 8 gigs, most of the time 16 gigs. So that's the second thing you want to look for. Third thing is going to be hard drive capacity. And secondly, hard drive performance. So the capacity is your overall storage. Okay, and this is going to be where you're going to see 250 gigs, 512 gigs, 1 terabyte, so on and so forth. And so your capacity is how much stuff you can put there. Typically, your operating system and your pictures and that kind of stuff doesn't really consume a whole lot. The big consumption happens when you get into videos and movies and games. It could take up a lot of your hard drive space. And so in a machine that has a lot of hard drive space, you can almost bet that it's not the high performing hard drive, because your angle is that they're trying to give you capacity and that you lose a little bit of the high speed stuff. So if I sell you a computer, it usually has a solid state drive, but the drive's capacity is a little bit smaller than, it's not going to be a 4 terabyte C drive, right? It's going to be a 500 gig C drive, a half a terabyte. And so I want you on my machine to be able to put your basic stuff on C drive. But then if you have this big cache of movies, music, and bigger stuff, you either put a second hard drive in there, internal, that's a little bit higher capacity, lower cost, or you can even do an external hard drive or a NAS or something like that, or even put it in the cloud so it doesn't take up all your local drives. So when you're shopping for this stuff, you're going to basically see 3 types of hard drives: mechanical, hybrid, and solid state. Mechanical are usually going to be high capacities. You're going to see 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes, without the machine costing thousands of dollars. I don't really recommend mechanical, and I think we're on a limited time before you stop seeing mechanical drives out there, because if those are the ones that break down, if any hard drives break, it's those ones stop spinning and start making noise, and we lose data on them. So I'm not a real big fan of mechanical anymore, being that we have the option for solid state. So the middle one is a hybrid one, where they have some solid state access, and you also have some mechanical access. And they're fused. They're in one drive. They're in one piece of equipment. That's the only part that I like the theory. I just don't like the fact that they're in one enclosure. I'm not a big fan of that. So Fusion drives, the hybrid drives, they're okay if you have them, but I'd prefer the third option, which would be your solid state drive and then having an extension of the mechanical drive. And you don't have to do the extension 500. Most of us can get by with a 500 gig drive. But so there you go. So that's processor, that's memory, and that's capacity and hard drive space. And that's about it. I mean, when you go in, there's some extra stuff like with sound and with video. If you're playing games, then the video processor and the video memory is going to start playing a role in that. People who play games kind of know what video card they want, and they usually will tag on a video card and make it a separate purchase. And so you don't really use the one that's integrated with the machine anyway. So that's usually how that goes down. All right. So anyway, that's some buying things. Now, where should you be price wise? The low end side, you could if you're just looking at a machine that gets you on the internet, you're going to go anywhere from $400 to $600 for a low end machine. It's going to be an i3. It's going to have a mechanical hard drive. It's going to get you by, going to get you to the internet. Middle of the road, you're going to be anywhere from that $600 mark to about $1,000 to $1,100, and the high end's going to be from $1,000 up. And you'll kind of know where you need to stay. If grandma and people who just use it for internet's gonna low side is plenty. Buying from Youngstown Computer, anything from me is going to be in that middle end. And then we're going to, on a custom basis, if you need it, will be on the, you can put something together on the higher end and everything in between. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, I'd like, Youngstown Computer to be one of your options that you shopped. Our configuration, that i5, is a $980 investment, comes with Windows 10 and everything you heard me talking about. So if you're in the market for a computer, just like anybody else that we highlight here, we'd appreciate it if you bring that business here. Our commercial customers deal with us. These things have been field tested for years now, something that we trust and we use. So if you're in the market for something, we'd appreciate the business. Okay. I'm going to read whatever text messages may have come in over the last hour or so in our next segment. We're going to take a break real quick, come back. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Hey, gang, we do the show live every day, 8 to noon, but if you can't catch it, we're on the podcast. Just search Dan Rivers 570 WKBN.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now. It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
It's time for Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. The temperature outside is rising, but our prices are dropping. It's our sizzling summer sales event. Now is your chance to save thousands on a huge selection of brand new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, like the brand new 2019 Chevy Silverado LT Double Cab for only $248 per month. Got credit problems? Get approved faster and easier than ever before with the all-new Team Taylor Credit Amnesty Program. Calling all trades. Only Taylor Chevrolet gives you $4,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade. It's time for Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. Drive TaylorChevrolet.com. Find new roads.
It's time for Taylor. Time for Taylor right now.
To qualified buyers, 39 month lease, $14.49 due at signing plus tax, title license, $10K per year. Must qualify competitive lease. Stock number C196089. See dealer for details.
It's our biggest tire sale of the year. It's the annual tent sale going on now at Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. Now through July 31st, every tire we carry is on sale. Tires as low as $49.99 each. And when you buy 3 select Yokohama tires, you'll get the 4th tire free. That's right, buy 3, get 1 free on select Yokohama tires. Hurry in because this event only comes once a year. Stop by any Flynn's Tire location or shop online at flynnstire.com.
And tell them Finney sent you.
Time's running out to win $5,000 a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $5,000 a week after week, for life. Don't miss your chance to win because $5,000 a week for life is guaranteed to be awarded on August 30th. Enter at PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. August 30th, you could win $5,000 a week for life. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/27. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
Is your child's foot comfort important to you?
If it is, you need to get your kid some Skechers. You see, at Skechers, we're the comfort and fit specialists, and we've taken all this comfort and fit knowledge and applied it to the cutest, most comfortable boys and girls shoes on the planet. They're soft and flexible while still being durable. They're also super fashionable, have comfort innovations like Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam, and most importantly, they're affordable. Get your kids some Skechers at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
All right, I've had insomnia for many, many years, and I got to tell you, the one relief I have gotten is My Pillow. I fall asleep faster, I stay asleep longer, and you can too. It just works. I met Mike Lindell. He's the inventor of My Pillow. I got fitted for my very own My Pillow, and it has changed my life in so many ways for the better. And right now, Mike is offering his lowest price ever on radio or TV. You get a 2-pack of My Pillow's premium pillows, $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow. Now, this offer is only available at mypillow.com or call toll-free 800-919-6090. Just use the promo code Hannity. My Pillow, made in the USA, 60-day unconditional money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty. Don't spend more sleepless nights on a pillow not working for you. MyPillow.com, promo code Hannity, 800-919-6090. You'll get a 2-pack premium pillows, $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow. MyPillow.com, promo code Hannity.
When we started this podcast, I had read a lot of true crime. I thought I knew what I was getting into. But I wasn't prepared to stop sleeping, and for these all-too-real monsters to visit me in my nightmares. From iHeartRadio and Tenderfoot TV, Monster presents Insomniac.
iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts, but don't take our word for it. Find Monster Presents Insomniac on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. I don't know if you saw in the news a couple days ago, SpaceX had they were testing the Raptor engine, and so what they're putting a lot of emphasis over the next couple of years on getting this sort of interplanetary travel, where we're determined to make it available to travel to Mars or the moon's probably next and whatnot. But what I saw in this article where the test fired up, and I think they had one of the valves stuck open, so they had some fuel that got mixed with the air around where the Raptor was testing, and you had a big vapor fire that sort of encapsulated the engine that was being tested. And I'm thinking, like, really people were jumping on Tesla, or not Tesla, on SpaceX as this being a failed test. But I mean, this is sort of how you do test things. But I think what's happening is there's a lot of people that are really against these private space agencies, and I don't know what it is about them. I don't know why people are rooting against private exploration as heavy as they are, but they're like waiting for something to go bad and everybody just kind of pounces on it. Where I'm looking at this, and the engine still worked on the other side. There was a vapor cloud that did it, but that was just my surprise of how much failure is being cheered on when it comes to the space program, and I don't quite understand why it is as prevalent as it is. But anyway, it was a successful test. I think we're probably a year away from having an unmanned version of one of these make their way towards there and see, because that's really the next deal after we've proven flight of the engine and flight of the Starship, in quotes. We're probably going to send an unmanned version of it to see if we can get there, and back. Because getting off of this planet and the travel between the planets, and then landing something there is going to be a trial, on its own. So I'm really looking forward to what SpaceX has in mind, and how they pull this off when we get to that phase. But I really hope that that we really don't get in the habit of hoping people fail or cheering the demise or cheering on the negativity, no matter what part, which team you're on. So I hope we can get over that and really cheer on innovations and get behind people who are trying to do stuff. So great show today. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it. Appreciate the phone calls. Appreciate our guests from Centricity and Smart Bar. We'll hope you join us next week. We're going to have our community kitchen stop by and talk with them. So have a great week, everybody. You've now listened to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. Have a great week.